My presentation is called Filling in the Gaps in Computer Science. I'm Nikki Cowling. I am a fifth grade teacher. I'm just a regular classroom teacher. I have 0 awards. I'm proud to be a Amazon Future Engineer Teacher Ambassador, but I want you to know that my perspective comes from I'm just a classroom teacher. I have an interest in computers, but I don't have any training or special skills, but I really feel passionate about bringing it to my students because I know that that's what they love. Um, this is my family. I've got a 4th grade son and twin girls in kindergarten. Lucy, who's clutching the hippo, she's obsessed with Fiona the hippo. She's like born like a premature hippo at the Cincinnati Zoo. So when I heard that we were going to Ohio for CSTA, I was so excited that maybe I could squeeze in a trip to Cincinnati, but not knowing my Ohio geography, they are not close enough. So that was sad. So we went on our own just earlier this year, and it was a big highlight for everyone. A little bit more about my school. My school is in Clyde Hill, Washington. It's a really beautiful area. It's kind of like a suburb about 20 minutes east of Seattle. And as you know, Seattle is like a big tech hub for places like Microsoft and Boeing and Amazon. And so many commuter families attend our school. It used to be known as like a really kind of like a well-to-do community, and mostly white, and all families had, you know, all the things that they needed. But the racial diversity has changed so much in the 18 years that I've been there. Our school is now 50% Asian, only 25% white. It used to literally be like 80% white. And then we have like a really much more diverse blend, which we're really proud of. We've also recently become an inclusion school, which means we now are including all students, all needs, all behaviors within our classroom, and just to give all kids the same education that they all deserve. My listening is teachers, students, caregivers, and leaders. I did spend most of the time talking with students because they're my favorite. I just think it's so interesting to hear what kids think about computer science and technology, especially at the elementary level. When I ask them what is computer science, their understanding is pretty basic. Coding is computer science. When you use technology to make something happen, science on a computer, or making projects fun for learning. A lot of them said gaming. So I think more can be done to really expand all the things that computer science is. I think we've done a really good job about making it more accessible for all, and for girls, especially. We've got coding clubs for girls at school. But I think there's still kind of question marks in some of their heads about what all computer science encompasses. When I asked them, can you share a time when using a computer or technology has helped you in class? One of my students, he said, plenty of times. I've had to do things like give presentations. For example, in 3rd grade, I made a PowerPoint on one of my problems in speech and how I have a stutter because my diaphragm moves too fast. And then he said, I can tell you're writing this down and it's probably going to be helpful for someone. So they're really just, their quotes were so cute and funny about, you know, how computers help them, how much they enjoy using it. Access is a big deal to our district. And so all students in our district, K-12, have iPads and laptops that they can take home. Most students in grades 3 and above use these daily. Families needing extra support can request a modem and a router that provides them internet service like a hotspot. Title I schools receive an extra period of computer science from a CS building specialist, but budget cuts are impacting funding for computer science. Our district, like so many others, we're $20 million in the hole, and so they've cut all computer science teachers, and it really has put it back on regular classroom teachers to kind of carry the torch. Quotes, kids were very aware not all schools can afford tech. People don't have enough money to buy computers. And some of them were very literal, like, if we don't follow the rules, our computers will get taken away, like if they're doing YouTube instead of using it for digital literacy. So they are really aware about access and how not all kids in schools have equal access. And I hope that they can use this passion to, bring this forward for district advocacy to continue more computer science program support. Question, how has computer science helped you? This year, it mostly helped me with research. It helped me learn more of facts about the ocean. You get to play games. There's kind of a variety, but mostly in elementary school, kids are using computers for learning, for research projects to help them with reading, and then also kind of like as a reward, like if you finish this, we can have time to play this game, kind of like community building. What about digital literacy, though? Many teachers and caregivers express concerns of students' ability to check for credible sources. So when we are researching online, are they just going to Wikipedia? Where are they getting their information from? I think evaluating sources is a key digital literacy skill that's often overlooked. A lot of times it's ready, aim, fire, go and find your research, but without really dialing back and making sure that they have the skills to find credible sources, especially in this day and age. Caregivers often have concerns that AI presents challenges in learning computer skills and actually using their own critical thinking skills. I had a parent say, why are we even learning anymore when kids are just going to be using AI to do everything once they get past elementary school? She was really concerned that this fear of AI and, are we taking away their ability to think? And so when I dove deeper into that and I asked students, I said, how are you using AI? Most of them said to ask questions, to generate pictures. This is a picture that my kindergarten bar, she wanted to see a picture. Please create a picture of a sophisticated hippo with its husband. Like, she loves asking AI just to create silly pictures. And a lot of my kids say the same thing. They want to create animals with different heads or different colors. A lot of them don't use it. And a lot of them are very aware that if we use AI all the time, it would make things boring. So I saw a lot of light in this, and that students are not just wanting to jump on the AI and forget all their critical thinking skills. They are not really using it very much in elementary school, and they really still do want to learn together. Elementary school students have thoughtful perspectives on AI. It's opened up doors to discussions on ethics, creativity, control, but most of them are not using it regularly. My solution is really to model online research, model credible resources, to teach the difference between like an EDU website and an org website versus other websites, just so they know that what they're getting is a credible source. How are teachers feeling about CS? We've heard a lot of it. Lack of time, lack of knowledge, lack of resources. Also, students lack typing skills. Some teachers find it frustrating that students are supposed to be able to write their essays and take their tests and write these multi-paragraph reports, but they're using it with one finger. And also just too many other content areas to cover. My solution, computer science can be cross-curricular, and teachers are embedding their subjects into their CS lessons. And I'm going to share with you some of the ones that I've done in my class or some of my colleagues have done. So one of them, as fifth graders, is we're learning about the 13 colonies, and the first colony is Jamestown. And so they're still doing the legwork. They're doing the research. I'm making them write things down. They're having to sketch a draft kind of as your, like, this is your ticket. But after that, without any knowledge of my own, I let them go into Minecraft education. And I said, I want you to take your research, your learning, and go ahead and make a Minecraft settlement recreation. So this is a student who went above and beyond. He was very skilled in this. He took it home, but he wanted to show the difference between the indigenous homes and the colonist homes. We talked about historical accuracy and like what the crops kind of are grown and how the buildings should be structured. All of this was done because I was able to say, if I let you do this, you cannot ask me for help. I don't know how to jump or fly. When I tried myself, they laughed at me, and they really kind of enjoyed it because I was not in their face. They had to really rely on each other. And what's better than not having to listen to your teacher for a long time? So this was supposed to be like a week-long project. It took double, just because they were so engaged and so invested in really taking their learning and replicating it in a new way. One of my favorite things was a lot of them wanted to share. And so here's that same student who allowed me to share that with you, showing it to some of the classmates, and they were just really in awe, and that inspired them to go and add more details to their colonies and ask questions. How did you do this? And once again, like, I didn't help them at all, but I just gave them the platform to go and try. This is another project that we did. We were learning about idioms. So students had to learn about an idiom, find an idiom, and then create it as a video on Scratch. And so this one was, "You're driving me nuts." And in the beginning, he starts off as a regular person, but then after a little while, it changes into like a walnut and says, "You're driving me nuts." They were really cute and clever with these. We did a Lego Spike workshop where students are learning about the daylight and nighttime, and like how the season affects the amount of daylight. And their job was to create a lamp that would light during the night so that the girl could have a pathway from her tent to the bathroom, and that would turn off during the daytime. And you can see the amount of collaboration that goes on. I mean, it's just heads down, they're working together. And I couldn't help them, but I told them that I wasn't going to help them, and they were happy to try on their own. One of my favorite ones is doing coding buddies. This is one of my former third graders pairing up with one of my daughters, and they would love it because even the third graders who are not the most tech savvy felt confident helping a younger student learn how to do coding on the computer. We were doing something with code.org, and you can see the joy on both of their faces just being able to connect using technology. So my final thoughts is, in order to get students ready for all the amazing things that are clearly happening in middle school and high school, we need to have a strong intentional CS pathway that starts in elementary school. They're ready for it. They're eager. They're excited. Blending technology with traditional learning is really going to help with the time factor that many teachers worry about. And the last thing is just allowing for more opportunities for risk-taking and grace for teachers yourself. I always tell my students how I'm an old dog and I can't learn any more tricks. You have to teach it to me. But I think if more teachers just put that out there, that they're not the expert, but you're welcome, I'm going to let you try this on your own, I think kids would take it and run, and it can be more of a collaborative process for everyone. And thank you so much.
Ooh. Round of applause for Nikki.
Thank you.
Excellent job. Excellent job. Well, I was just thinking, I was also thinking about my own kids, and just like how my daughter is in 7th grade now, I told you all, and she's doing Minecraft, and just like how much she's learning about other stuff, as well as the computer science. So pushing that down to 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, I mean, I think all of you have said in different ways. Kelsey, I know Jason said something earlier, but just about how, the younger kids can do this. Like they depending on how you introduce it to them, they can surely, take this on as new content. So thanks for sharing, Nikki. What questions do we have for Nikki?
Yeah, thanks, Nikki. This is really amazing to hear. The thing that I feel like I've been hopping from room to room, and so this theme about going early is really important. The other thing that I've been like asking people, and I want to ask you too, is like, how does this live in your school building or like in your district, right? I mean, clearly you're doing really amazing things, but how are you thinking about taking this outside of your four walls and ensuring that other teachers are able to integrate the same way you are? Because this is really powerful.
Yeah, I I'm starting small, but one of the main ways I've been successful is doing coding buddies. I have teachers who are less confident in their ability to do computer science. And so when we're coding buddies, I'm also kind of being the lead coding buddy for the teacher and just showing them how I set it up and also how I set up kind of this classroom culture of like, I don't know everything yet. I'm sure you don't either. Like, let's learn together and hopefully kind of spread that energy around so that teachers feel more open to trying it and being okay if they're not perfect at it. Yes, I totally agree with that, Lily. I'm always happy to to give that power away, and then it's way less pressure.
I was wondering, are you a Microsoft school or district
No.
or district?
At one point they did have a partnership with one of the elementaries, but they consolidated it, and so it's no longer.
Because I know it may just be free for everybody, but if you tried Microsoft EDU,
Uh-huh.
you got individual lessons inside there for the primary levels. And
Oh,
it deals with every subject area. If you got math, they've got like program your little agent to solve this math problem and everything like that. Or if you got ELA, you read a book and it tells you program your agent to draw the theme out or something like that.
yeah.
But it's all free, and they give a nice little like PowerPoint presentation that you could actually walk through the students with
Oh,
too, if you wanted to do it that way, or if you just wanted to open it up for them and go inside there. But I would look into Microsoft EDU.
thank you.
Their actual website, you can just download the world onto your computers,
Mhm.
and you can do the lessons inside there, and you can get that to incorporate it to other teachers in the ELA or the math or the science. They've got so many different little activities inside there, and also like monthly build challenges that deal with certain subject areas. Like when it's, what is it, book week or library week, they've got, create your favorite theme of a movie or something.
Yeah, thank you. Javier, I'm also going to look at the K2 resource that you were telling Kelsey about. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, you have any question or anything like that, please send me an email. I'm happy to help you. Like I said, I'm using it with my kinders, first and second graders. They're reinforcing the literacy, and it was great. Like I said, Scratch Junior and Code Monkey Junior. They have the typing and the literacy right now, and that's great courses for free right now. Trial for 60 days. Especially
Okay.
right now, if you do summer school, I highly recommend it for summer school. I'm planning to do summer school with my students, so happy to continue networking with you guys.
Thank you.
Something that it made me think what Kelsey mentioned is one of the challenges in his community about like the lack of computer literacy in the family. I'm making some assumptions, but I'm wondering in your communities, Nikki, if there is more literacy in the family, which might help bridge some of those gaps, and just like, do you see a similar challenge or you know, in a different way in your community?
Yeah, the Minecraft student that I showed, that's a highly computer literate family, and we have so many Amazon and Microsoft employee families, and so those students, it's hard to balance because I've already done this. I learned this last year with my dad. My grandma taught me when I was 4, and so it's hard to balance that with this incoming students who are very new to a computer, and so as much as I can, I try to pair them up, but also the kids that have a lot of knowledge, they also want to excel and do more with the other ones that know. So it's a balancing act of making sure everyone has time in the way that they want.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's fascinating. Wow,
Yeah.
excellent. Any other questions for Nikki, y'all? Excellent. Well, you all definitely showed out today. It's so fascinating to see the similarities across the country, really. I mean, if you think about it, literally coast to coast, north to south, and just how the uniqueness of your community shine in as well, like from advantage and from from some of the challenge points. So I am so glad I was able to see this. I know Megan is going to be watching these videos and putting them together, and I'm glad, Latoya, you got to be here. Good to see you as always.